Honestly, I'm tired of repeating the same cycles. I wanna let it go. So here I go. Life drop. Starting a new path for my fam. Finding who I am. Speaking life, loving me, even when I fall. Cause life be life in us all. Life be life in us all. Cause life be life in us all. Life be life in us all. Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Portia O, your host of Life Be Lifin podcast, and I'm here once again with another installment of Life Be Lifin. Okay, thank y'all so much for joining. I really appreciate you. This is season 3. Can you believe it? Period. I'm feeling good and I'm happy and excited to share this moment with you all. Okay, so before we get into the episode, if this is your first time here, welcome. This is a podcast where we talk about how life be over here, life in us via all types of relationships, situations, and everyday things that we are experiencing, all while in real time healing and learning how to be a better human being. So if that's what you're about, you're in the right place at the right time. Thank you for joining. Before we jump in, all as well, let's hear from one of our sponsors, Shop Lene. Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Portia O, your host of Life Be Life podcast, and I'm here to show you some Shop Lene. Y'all see me talk about this all the time on the podcast, and I wanted to show you it in real life action. I went and got my nails done by my infamous nail tech, who's helped my nails grow healthy and strong. These are my natural nails. And she used the product on my hand at the end when it was time to moisturize the hands on up. And baby, she was in shock and awe at how good it felt, how good it was going on into my skin. It is giving moisture. It is giving all the things that you need in order to feel like you are moisturized. She was talking about how soft it was, how a little goes a long way, which was extremely important, right? When you have certain products like this, you don't want to overuse and run out really quickly. You want to get your best bang for your buck, right? So this is a perfect product for that. I feel that too many times that we find products that aren't giving what it needs to give. Sometimes they be too greasy. Sometimes it goes away too quickly. You feel like you have to keep reapplying, which isn't fun, right? When you spend your hard-earned money on supposedly valued products. But when I tell you Shop Lene is like no other, it is like no other, okay? It really do keep you moisturized for the entire day. And it also helps with sensitive skin. It has all natural ingredients and all types of things. It's a very subtle smell as well with the different versions and types that it has. So please go to the website, check it out, look into what you may like, what you may want to try, and all the things. She even has like little 2-ounce containers of the body butter. So if you're unsure, you can buy a smaller amount so that you can see what you really like, and then you can get a larger amount. We keep a good 16 ounce in this house. The kids got their own and I have my own, but they all work very well. My children, actually have some eczema issues at times, and that Mako Crochet, baby, it gives what it needs to give and moisturizes them and keep them protected in their skin, very supple and good. So please try it out. Again, my nail tech was fascinated by this and we had a very good time. And as you can see, my hands are very much so moisturized. And I was just ecstatic to use this product. And this is one of my favorites, the potion. Please go check out Shop Lene. Thank you, Shop Lene. I so appreciate you and I love your products. please go check her out. Okay, appreciate you guys. Next is our hashtag Life Be Lifing Us All. Okay, and hey there in the village, listen to my babies. Okay.
Hey, it's me, Portia, host of Life Be Lifin Podcast. Are you like for the podcast? Psych, it's me, Leo. Psych, it's me, Micah. Please email my mommy or DM her with whatever you want to talk about. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to her YouTube channel. Because Life Be Lifin us all. Bye. Bye.
Oh, you're so precious. Thank y'all so much. Please follow the instructions per my babies, okay? All right. So, next segment is one of my favorites, which is I got some questions, y'all. This is where I have questions pretty much that I'm going to answer throughout this podcast or do my best to answer them throughout this podcast. If you have any questions yourself, you can please send them to me or comment on this podcast or on this video on YouTube and we can talk about it. All right. But today, typically I have many questions for myself, but today this one only has one question. And just to be clear, this podcast episode is talking about is 75 days all that it takes. Okay. And for those who don't know, who don't follow me on social media, because if you do, you've probably seen it, I embarked on this new journey of doing a 75-day challenge, okay? So the only question that I have for myself today on this topic is how many days does it take for you to show up for you, okay? Again, that question is, how many days does it take for you to show up for you? Yeah. I didn't think it was anything else to ask at this point because, like, for real, that's what we're talking about. Okay. Showing up for yourself. Nobody else can show up for you but you. Right on into my next segment, which is Did You Know? If you didn't know, it's okay because your girl is here to help you learn and find out, just like I have recently learned about this. Okay. So, according to psychologytoday.com, there is a popular idea out there that it only takes 21 days to make a habit. I am guilty of stating this many a times, like, oh, it only takes 21 days, only takes 21 days. But assuming you engage in a new behavior every day, a 3-week commitment seems pretty manageable, right? Which is probably why that 21 number is very appealing to most people. Unfortunately, that 21 days idea is a myth. Like, who knew? The same is true if you've heard it takes 30 days or any other number of days to form a new habit, right? There are too many unknown variables. And so it is simply an incapable equation, okay? Anything that provides our brain with intense feelings of pleasure is going to be learned fast, which is why many of us already have a set of habits we like to change to begin with. On the other hand, for most of us, going to the gym is not immediately pleasurable. It's going to take a lot of work to habituate that behavior. Another is the reward of value our pre-existing habits. Chances are that our brain has already learned a lot of highly rewarding habits, and those are stiff competition for the new thing that we are trying to learn. Also, how complicated is the behavior? Simple behaviors are easier to habituate than more complex behaviors. Sitting on the couch uh, is an incredible easy and is incredibly easy, and especially when the alternate is getting our own butt in the car and driving to the gym to work out. So, we can make New Year's resolutions all we want to and say what we're going to do. We can pay for the memberships. We can choose very nice facilities. We can set ourselves up with the accommodations within your home, right? You can have it set up in your house, in your garage. You can have it in your building complex in your community, such as me. Like that was one of the pulls for when I moved into this place. I was like, oh my gosh, they have a gym and it's inside, it's 24 hours. Like I have no excuse because I have access to this at all times, right? You can do all of those things and have all of those great intentions, right? To show up for you. But are you really going to do it? That's moving right on into my next segment, which is this is just my life experience. And this is where I share something that I have experienced or, pretty much what I have experienced. Okay. For me, I've shared before that my whole weight journey, or I don't want to say weight loss journey, but more so like my whole attitude towards myself about my weight and my body in general has always been a thing since I was a young girl. Okay. Even though I was smaller when I was younger, I still had a complex about being so small. And when I started to gain weight, I had a complex about that too. It's like no matter which way I go, I just was never satisfied with the body that I have been placed inside of, right? And so anywho, fast forward to 2024. And I am now 5 years in. Shout out to Micah, who's 5 now, into this new body that I have been experiencing since I had my last baby. This is the biggest I have ever been in my life. But now, like Jesus, it's been 5 years, Portia. Like, when you gonna get over it, right? And I have made like many steps towards getting over it. I think that I dress my body to my comfortability and even sometimes push it to the limit of not being so comfortable as to what I've been taught or shown, like what a big girl should dress like and look like. Like, you too big, you need shapewear on, you need to be like, listen, I have got past that whole aspect of the things. Like, I understand some undergarments that make you look smoother and you want to look appropriate in certain settings and things like that. But also, I'm not in that family of shapewear girl no more. Like, y'all gonna get these dents, crevices, all the things, these rolls, y'all gonna see them because they're there. Like, I don't feel the need to make myself uncomfortable and suffocating myself, essentially trying to push this fat inward to look like I'm smaller, or not even smaller, just look more refined. And I'm suffering with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the point, and I get like we want a certain look at times, but I'm just not interested in making myself uncomfortable to make you feel comfortable by how I look. You know what I'm saying? This is the body that I have, and it is a work in progress. And so, with that being said, I'm going to show up and appreciate every crevice, every roll, every dent, dimple, and fat pocket, and in between, because this is what I am blessed to have at this moment. And it's also a part of my self-love journey. Like, I have to love myself no matter what. It should not be contingent upon what I look like. And your feelings start as a thought. And if you think that you are terrible looking, and if you think you are fat and sloppy, if you think that you aren't worth being loved because of how you look, that's how you're going to feel. And I just don't want to waste any more time dwelling in that space. So I am doing what I feel is best for Portia, irregardless if other people like, oh, that dress is too short. Oh, girl, you showing all the things. oh, like your roles. Like, yes, they are there. Yes, they are present and they are a part of me. So if you got a problem with my roles, you got a problem with me. What's up? What we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I want to be comfortable and I need to learn and have learned how to be comfortable in my own skin. That doesn't mean that I don't have insecure moments, right? It is still a work in progress. I still have moments that I feel very unflattered by how I look. Or I have an ideal of what I want this outfit to look like. I can envision it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna be super cute. I put this with that, da, da, da. And when I put it on, it don't give what it needs to give. Okay. I still have those moments, but also I'm like, okay, cool. We gonna pivot. We not finna get down on ourselves and be like, this is why you need to lose some weight. Because this don't make no sense. Like you can't even wear the clothes that you want to wear. You can't even style the way you want to style. That's not true. You just have to find what fits you. And again, what is based in your comfortability, right? I know I have stated recently on a episode about cycles in my life. And one of the cycles is like this whole working out, um, me trying to gather myself and get healthy, right? Thank God that when I go get my yearly physical, that my results are always in good standing. My sugar levels, my everything from the blood work, everything is good. And I'm grateful for that. But also, I know that if I keep on down the pathway that I am going down, and I have been going down for the last 5 years for sure, but it ain't even just the last 5 years. This has been years of this habit that I have formed with how I eat, exercise, think about taking care of myself and my body in general, right? I also know that there are histories and um, generational things that go through my bloodline on my maternal side and my paternal side. Um, Congestive heart failure, diabetes, high blood pressure. Like these are all prevalent things in my family and in my community of people most of the times, right? And so I know if I keep on down the track that I'm going down, I will eventually hit one of those things, right? And so I want to be better. I want to eat better. I want to show my children a better lifestyle when it comes to how we take care of ourselves and what's important. I think a lot of times in the Black community, because that's just my experience as being a Black woman. We can talk about how people look all the time and about their physique and how they present, if they're slim, if they're skinny, if they're thick, if they're whatever, a big curvy woman, whatever. We could talk about all those things and have so many commentaries on it. Yet nobody is saying, how do we make it better? Right? Nobody is really having that conversation. It's more of a critique and a judgment than, hey, coming to someone in love and saying, I realize that you have picked up some weight and I'm just wondering, like, what are you doing about that? This and this and that may run of our family and or our community. And, I'm just curious. I'm just concerned or I wanted to share some knowledge and some information with you to help you kind of get better in this aspect. And I think if we have more conversations like that are willing to educate and help, opposed to being negative and demeaning, which does not help. That's not helping anyone's self-esteem or anything like that. It's not helping anyone want to do better because you're critiquing me. Yes, it is affecting me. It is hurting me. It is making me feel some type of way. But most times, if you are a person like me, you will eat your feelings. And so what you have said to me about, girl, what you got that on for? You too big to have that on. Well, that's not making me feel like, well, I need to go to the gym and work out so that this person won't have this comment towards me, that may go through my head for a brief moment, but also, man, whatever. I'm already in this spot. There's nothing I can do. I'm just gonna keep on eating. I'm just gonna keep on having the bad things. I'm just gonna keep on doing like that's how I will receive that. And then every time I go around that person or those persons, I will be very like covering, trying to like, I kind of go inside of myself. And that's not healthy either. Like, why make people feel that way? Like, stop commenting on people's weight, whether it is a good weight or a bad weight to you. It does not matter. Stop commenting on it. No one asked you. Okay? And I don't care if you're small, if you're big, keep your comments to yourself. Okay? I didn't ask for it. You probably didn't ask for it. And even when we do ask for it, like I can be candid with my mom and be like, hey, how's this look? Like, is my stomach like looking like I'm pregnant? Like, because that's how I feel sometimes because I deal with diastasis recti and my abdomen, my abdominal muscles, I've talked about this before on here, aren't fully closed like they were how God originally created me, okay? After having babies and carrying them, my abdomen muscles are apart. But you know, that's par for the course, right? But still, that's just a part of me that I am insecure about. And I'm like, how does this look? Like, I don't want to accentuate that, right? Even though I know my stomach is going to show regardless of what I wear because I have a stomach, like I have a gut. But at least sometimes it don't have to be all like, woo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's again my comfortability level. But I will check in with somebody like my mom, who I do trust her judgment and her, well, not her judgment, but her, I believe that she would give me the real honest truth about how I look. And even if I don't feel like the best in that moment, like I know she would tell me like, oh, well, it is kind of, or she'll be like, no, it looks good. Like, you tripping, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Which is good. It's good to have people like that. But for those who don't know how to say anything nice, keep it to yourself. Please and thank you. Signed, management. Anywho, so I, again, going back to the cycling of it all, I have these periods of the year that I get in these modes, right? So the top of the year, which is typical for most people, like, oh, New Year's resolution, I'm going to start off like this. You got all these plans and ambitions and all the things that you want to do and you want to start your year off right, right? I typically start like that in the year, and somewhere in between I fall off. Then another time of the year for me, because by the time the first of the year, beginning of the year passed away, I done went through the school year. Now we're here in summer. Hey, we outside. I'm about to have fun. I'm just about to relax and enjoy. And that's that. Okay. But here come fall again. And fall is where I get guilted in again to like, okay, Portia, you got to take care of yourself. You done had your fun all summer, and now it's time for you to start getting back in tune with what you need to do in order to show up for you. This particular fall, I was having one of those moments again, and it really is like, when the kids are home from school in the summertime, it's so much harder for me. I feel, at least that was my thought. That's the way I framed it at that time. Like, it's so much harder for me to like stay on track because it's not really a routine. Even though I'm still working, I still got to get up and work my 9 to 5. But the kids not being on a certain schedule kind of throws me off, right? I give myself grace. And when they get back on their school schedule, that's when I can get back on a good schedule, a routine for me. I was like, okay, I was telling my friends, like, man, I just feel like, I need to do something. I need to push myself up out of this space that I'm in. Like, I just feel so heavy, and I feel like, having that diagnosis back in March of 2024, of the sciatica, which again, that episode is coming to tell that whole story. But having that diagnosis and having to go through all that I went through, I was very scared I really hate to use that word. I was very nervous about restarting my exercise journey because I did not want to aggravate that nerve. I did not want to have issues and all the things, but thank God I had did physical therapy for a couple of months, and that really gave me my confidence back. Even though it was hard work and it did still hurt in physical therapy, I got to a point that it didn't, right? And I will have moments of feeling like my normal self again. And so I was like, I just really need to challenge myself. Like, I really think I can. The physical therapist had released me, and I can go back to my working out routine. So it's like, what you gonna do, Portia? What you gonna do? And for a long time, it had been weighing on me. Like, I kept feeling in my spirit and hearing in my spirit, like, do yoga, do yoga, do yoga. And I know for most people who are trying to lose weight, I want to be very clear that yoga is not the go-to thing to help you lose weight. So you want to try to do some cardio, you want to try to do some strength training, you want to try to do the things that are going to help you build your muscles up and burn that fat, okay? But again, with my diagnosis of the sciatica, and me not wanting to trigger that nerve, I'm thinking, oh, I need to do more stretching. I need to do more movement of my body, opposed to like hyper focusing on this fat burning, task. Okay. And also, I was telling my friends, like, this is more than just me losing weight. Like, this is really a lifestyle change. And if you're really going to do a lifestyle change, it requires a lot more than just doing a little routine of repetition of certain exercises, right? Like, because I've done that before many a times. Like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I get on a regimen, and I do it, and then I fall off. And then I started up again, and then I fall off. And then I started up again, and then I fall off. And it never really yields the results that I am looking for long term. Yes, I have hit some short term goals. Yes, I have lost 10 to 15 pounds, 20 to 30 pounds at times. But long term goals is the goal. Like, I want to ultimately live a healthy life. Okay? So that means that I have to change a lot of deep-rooted thoughts, mindsets, perspectives around this whole thing that is my health. And we can hyper-focus on the weight because that's what everyone sees, right? But what you don't see is my eating habits, how I think about food, how I connected with my emotions, how I choose to do this or that regarding how I feel or what's going on with me mentally. And I know I said this a lot last season, and I'm going to keep on saying it. It is all connected. If you have a certain mindset and a thought process about certain things, it's going to show up in your physical and your emotional and your spiritual, all of that, because it's all connected. Mental health is so important, okay? And don't just look at how people look on the outside to be like, oh, they look healthy. You don't know until you know. For real, okay? So anyways, I was like, I just need to challenge myself in my virtual church. Shout out to TC Nation Transformation Church, period, with Pastor Michael Todd. He had started, so if you're not familiar with Pastor Michael Todd, he is 6+ foot guy, black man, and he was a heavy guy. So when I started watching them back in like 2020-ish, whatever, 2019-ish, he was heavy. If y'all ever go back and look at any of his old stuff or whatever, he was a big man. And so recently, like the last 3 or 4 years, he said that he heard God tell him that he needed to take care of his body, his temple, in order for God to elevate him to where he was trying to take him. Again, if your health isn't well, how can you be utilized in earth, on earth? You know what I'm saying? If your health is failing you, like, what does that look like? What does that look like for you? And so, he was like, he knew like he had to change his lifestyle. And so he did. And it was a journey. It didn't happen overnight. He didn't get weight loss surgery. Nothing wrong. If that's your choice, that's your choice. But he took his time and really hyper focus on the lifestyle of it all. Like, I can't eat them Buffalo Wild Wings and Krispy Kreme donuts. And not that you can't have it in moderation, but again, you have to meet yourself where you are. And so if you know that this is your weakness and you don't know how to stop, you don't know how to eat in moderation, you don't know how to, give yourself a little and then really go hard and take care of yourself, then don't do it. Don't do it. He did it and he looks amazing now, like for real, for real. And he takes it very seriously and he still don't really want to do it. Okay. To be clear, but he's doing it because he has to do it. It's a lifestyle. Just like anything else, if you choose to, whatever you choose to do in your lifestyle, that's just what it is. Like, he was saying in a sermon one Sunday that he had just finished the 75-day challenge and he felt good and whatever. And he just did this in the midst of his healthy healing journey, right? And he just wanted to challenge himself. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Like, okay, cool. Like, whatever. But I just pushed it to the side because I'm just like, 75 days. And he was like, I took no days off and none. And this was my first time hearing of this. And I was like, child, please, I cannot. Like, I did not believe in myself enough to like even attempt to do something like that because what? I could barely work out 45 days straight without wanting a break and trying to get back up again after the little break. Like, child, listen, I know me and I know that I'm not going to be able to do that. Okay. And so you see where my mindset was about Portia, right? When are you going to choose to show up for you? I, again, was telling my friends this and I was extremely emotional and I was just like, I just feel like I need something. Like, I need to challenge myself. I need to prove to myself that I can do this. Like, I can do something different. Like, I needed to prove to Portia, this wasn't about nobody else. This wasn't about, I need to show up for this person or I need this person to see me this way or like me or love me or appreciate me. No, this was all about Portia doing all of those things. When are you going to choose to show up for you? And I was just like, man, I need to challenge myself. I'm thinking about doing a 75-day challenge. And I literally did no research on it. I kid you not. I did not. So I had no clue that there was a 75-day hard, 75-day soft. Like, I literally didn't find out about that until I was in the midst of it and somebody came on my live on TikTok and was like, oh, you sound like you're doing a 75-day soft challenge. And I was like, what is that? But anywho, I did no research on it. I was just like, for 75 days straight, I'm going to challenge myself to work out a minimum of 45 minutes a day. Whatever that workout looks like, I can break it up if I want to. I can do some in the gym in my building, or I can go outside and walk while the kids are at the park. Like, I can, whatever that looks like, Portia, for you to get up and physically move your body for 45 minutes a day. That's what I challenged myself to do. It had nothing to do with my eating. It had nothing to do with my, so it kind of also had to do with my sleep. Kind of. The main motive behind this challenge was to challenge me, to show Portia that you can show up for Portia. Like, and again, how do you expect anybody else to show up for you when you won't even show up for you? How can I expect any of my friends, if I had a romantic partner, my parents, anybody in my life to show up for me when I won't even do the showing up for me? How? And this was just a true testament to that. And so that was all I wanted to do, is to prove to myself that I can do this. And when I tell y'all, it was just like, just do the workout. So the kids started school and I was exhausted, like trying to get their hair done, finish their hair and everything the day before school started. And they started school on a Wednesday, which was so weird this year. But anyway, I was like, I was going to start the day they started school. And I was like, again, back to me resting, right? I was exhausted and I was like, Portia, you don't got it today. Just breathe. This is my first time having both of the kids in school for a full day. Like, this is new to me, right? I'm adapting to my new schedule, my new normal, whatever. And so I chose to give myself that day off. And so I was like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to start. And I could have easily said Monday, right? I feel like a lot of us push things to the following week thinking like, oh, I'm going to just start in the new week, right? Which is nothing wrong with that, to each his own. But I wanted to start now. Like, I was that serious about showing up for me. Like, I have to do this now. And so that Thursday, after I got the kids on the bus or whatever, and I had prepared to go down, and I had bought me a yoga mat and all of this, like, and that was the other part of my preparation. I said that I was going to do within my 45 minutes, like whatever that looks like, but I really wanted to, instead of strength training or jumping back into that, I wanted to do yoga. And so I said, I'm going to do half and half. I'm going to do some cardio for like 15, 20 minutes. And then I'm going to do like the remaining 25, whatever minutes for yoga. And so I researched on YouTube Black women who are yogis. Okay. And so I found a bunch. It was a whole playlist put together with many different Black women who do yoga, because I wanted to, support their YouTube pages and things like that. Being very intentional about my journey, right? And so, and seeing other people that are like me do it was just like confirmation or reaffirming, right? And so I found this whole playlist of all these dope Black women doing yoga, and in different settings and in different ways or whatever. So I was just going down the playlists every day, picking a new video to do and preparing, like, okay, this how long my cardio gotta last, because I gotta do this amount of minutes for my yoga. That's how long that's gonna last. The first day, that Thursday, I did it. I pushed myself. And at first I was just doing the treadmill for my cardio. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do the treadmill and then I'm gonna do this yoga. And it was so good. I felt so good every day. Like, I felt like I got day 1 under my belt. Okay, cool. Day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Y'all know I get shaky up in 4 and 5. Then I be like, I want to take a break. Like, I'm tired. But I didn't. I kept going. I made it to day 6. When I made it to day 7, I celebrated 7 straight days of working out. Like, what? Who is that? It's Portia O, period. Okay. Then I kept going. I made it to day 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm still doing the same routine every single day. Well, not the same routine, but like I drop my babies off at the bus stop. I carrying my things down. As soon as they get into the bus stop, I go straight to the gym. Get in the gym, do my cardio, walk on that treadmill, and then I'm going to do this yoga every single day. And then I was like, I'm going to share this because, when I started working out again at the top of this year, I was going on live on TikTok. Showing myself work out, which is another level of vulnerability, right? Because again, all these rolls and crevices, y'all finna see all the things, and now y'all finna see me on here sweating, no earrings, looking a mess, like it's first thing in the morning, like whatever. But I don't care. Like I'm doing this for me. I'm showing up for Portia, y'all. I'm showing up for me. And so I did it and I kept doing it. So I was recording myself. I was live on TikTok. I just play some music for whoever chooses to sit there and watch me work out. It really wasn't about me interacting with the people necessarily, but again, just documenting my journey and showing up for me. And at the beginning I was talking at the end of these videos or whatever, but I had to get upstairs to go to work, okay? But it was just so good. And having people, and it also like going live added a level of accountability for me too, because like I'm doing this on a regular at a specific time every day, and people got used to that. And it helps when people are like, oh, I see you still going. Like every day I change my title to the new day that I'm on. So I made it to day 15. I made it to day 30. Like when I made it to day 30, y'all, I was like, Houseway, who is this person? I worked out 30 days straight. Like what? Like it was crazy. And I think by the 30-day mark, that's when I thought to challenge myself. Oh, well, I went to the gym and all of the treadmills were taken. And I was like, dang, like I gotta do my cardio. Like what I'm gonna do? We have a whole room with cycling bikes. And I haven't did cycling since Leah was about 1, when I was working with this trainer in his workout group, and they had a cycling class. And I used to enjoy it, but it's really hard work, right? And so I was like, there's no way you are ready to do cycling, Portia, right? Here I go, limiting myself again, keeping myself in this little box, telling myself what I can't do, and I haven't even tried it, okay? Again, because of my perspective of how I look now and where I'm at, I'm like, there's no way you can do that. Like, that was so long ago that you were doing that. Like, girl, that was like 7 years ago. So I was like, but I got to do this cardio. So I was like, let me try. So I went in the cycling room and I got on that cycle bike. Baby, your girl was doing it. Like, get it. Up, down, side, boom, boom, pop. Baby, I was doing it. I was like, yo, I'm about to alternate from walking on a treadmill and doing a cycle bike. Okay. And what I also realized, what I was afraid to do, what I had told myself I could not do because I had, so much time had elapsed since the last time I did it. And I was much smaller then. And I didn't think I had the stamina enough to do it. Baby, when I tell y'all, every time I got on that bike, I felt like time was like moving so fast. Like by the time I look at my watch again, 20 minutes has passed. I'm like, dang, I've been on here for 20 minutes. Like this feels like a breeze. I was just baby. Again, the mindset, the thought, like the mental health of it all. Like I've placed myself in this box, closed it up, tape, everything. Like, no, I cannot get outside of this. Girl, you cannot. You don't have the stamina. You don't have the strength. You don't have the fortitude. You don't have none of the things to make it in this thing that you're doing. So don't even try. So many of us put ourselves in these positions to don't even try when it's nothing but your thought. It's not that you are incapable of doing it. It's that you refuse to see yourself greater. When are you going to start showing up for you? Okay. I felt so empowered. I felt so good. I just couldn't believe I was doing this. So, the time kept going on. Like now I'm in this cycling and this treadmill and my yoga. I'm getting better. And yoga is not for the faint at heart. It is a task. It is very much so. People think, oh, you got to be limber, you got to be flexible to do yoga. That is no further than the truth. You have to be mentally strong, first of all. And it strengthens your core. Like it's good with balance and different things like that. And like those deep, good stretches actually help my sciatica. Like I felt pain every so often, like a little twinge of pain, but I used to stretch it out. And I haven't had any major problems. I haven't had a flare up with my sciatica since God knows when. I haven't had to take the pills that they prescribed me. I haven't had to do none of that. And I really feel like all things work for the good of those who love the Lord, okay? All of those things were working together, pieced together to get me to this point. Because I sit up on here on this podcast and in real life too, talking about how God will show up for us and how he wants us to see ourselves the way that he sees us and how he loves us so much and all of these things. But I too struggle with truly believing that. And it's only because of my poisonous mindset that I have placed myself in a position to not see past what I think I can do. What I think I am capable of. And the reality is I'm so far greater than anything I can think, like for real. And God sees me that way. And he like, hey girl, I need you to see you like I see you. Okay? Stop putting yourself over here when you supposed to be the main event. The spotlight is on you, boo. Period. Stop fading to the background. Stop being in the back. Stop putting yourself in a corner. Stop not showing up at all. Stop hiding away in that house. Stop it. You gotta show up for you. So, I made it to day 70. I mean, when I made it 40 days, I was like, 40 days? Like every day I made it, I was freaking out. Like houseway. And then one of the most amazing things happened in the midst of all of this. I can't even remember the day now because I'm like so far ahead. Today I worked out. Today was day number 95, y'all. It started with just a thought. It started with 75 days and I kept going. My first mini goal was to make it 75 days. But in the midst of that 75 days, that's where I was about to go before I go there. Okay. In the midst of those 75 days, my brother came to visit from California. Shout out to Paris and Wes. Okay. His partner came too. And he was like, we're going to go cycling on the lakefront or bicycling on the lakefront. And you should come with us. And I was like, because he knows I've been on this challenge. He's been watching me on YouTube or whatever. And I was like, I don't think I can do it. And I had already started my cycling journey and everything. And he like, well, it's up to you, but I think it will be great. It'll be a great experience. He was like, last time we did it, we did like 30 miles on the lake. And I was like, 30 miles? I definitely don't have the stamina for that. Like, I'm just doing it on a little stationary cycle bike. Like, being on a real bicycle, you want me to get on a real bicycle outside, like, and do that for miles and miles on end? Who? Not Portia. But I was like, in the same breath of me doubting myself and being negative about the situation, essentially, my brother I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And he was like, for real? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I was like, I don't want y'all to slow down because of me. I don't want y'all to not do y'all whole thing because of me. Like, I'm going to push myself to do it. And I think I was about 40 something days in at this point, maybe longer. I can't remember for real, y'all. Sorry. He was like, okay, cool. Like, he was super excited. I was super excited, but also nervous. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to push myself to do it. And so he was telling me like how the electric bikes, aren't as strenuous as a regular bicycle, right? We rented those divvy bikes in the city. And so I was like, okay, like irregardless, I know how to ride a bike. I could do it. I could do it. I could do it. If I get tired, I'm just going to push myself to keep going. And so it was a very beautiful experience. Like, God meets me in all things that I do. And when I say that, I know people probably like, oh my gosh, she's so deep. Oh my gosh, like she always like, God, 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 God. But no, for real, y'all, like he meets me in everything that I do. And I was very nervous about it. I had never driven or rode a bike on the street, like in traffic. Like I really despise the bicyclists in Chicago when I'm driving. Like, bruh, get out the way. Like, that's your lane. Stay in your lane. They be taking up the whole street. But anywho, I had to become one that day to get from the bike station to the lakefront. But anyway, we got down there. I got on the bike. The bike was really heavy. And I was like, okay, whatever, cool. And then once I got on, your girl was on. And we stopped at the beginning of the bike path where we started at, and we stretched and everything. And I did some of my yoga stretches, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a little yogi, period. And and then I got on the bike and I went on down the path, and my brother was leading us at first, and they was like, you can be in the middle of us, like we're gonna protect you, we're gonna cover you, like you'll be okay, like wanted to keep a watchful eye on me or whatever. And so I'm just riding, and like we kept stopping to take pictures and admire the beautiful atmosphere that God has placed in Chicago on the lakefront, the skyline. It was a beautiful fall day, brisk day. It was just the most amazing weather we could have possibly had. Not too hot, not too cold. And it was just giving, like everybody was glad to be outside. It was like the ending of summer, but it was fall. Like it was just so beautiful. And when I tell y'all all that overwhelmingly came over me, the thought was, God, I am so grateful to experience your beauty, your majesty. Like, we take for granted a lot of things. And I am grateful to live in such a beautiful city. Chicago has its faults. And I don't live in the inner city of Chicago. I'm on the outskirts in the suburbs, but still, like, we take for granted what we actually have access to. It's literally a 20-minute drive for me to get to where we were, and to experience that beauty, to see the water, to feel the air, the breeze, the sun. Like, I was just in awe, and all I can say is thank you, God. Thank you for allowing me to be able to have the endurance, the stamina, the wherewithal, the capability to move my body and to see and engage in moments like this. Like I envision me and my girls riding on this bike path when they learn how to ride a bike, when they get older and things like that. Like, just like, man, it was so breathtaking. And I did not get winded one time at all. Like, I was not tired. We kept stopping again to take pictures and different things like that. My brother, like, you okay? You need to take a break? Like, you good? You good? And I'm like, I'm fine. I felt amazing. I was just like, thank you, God. Thank you. Back in March, I was just having a real shutdown situation with my body that I didn't know what the heck was happening. And look at me now, like on this bike, enjoying this atmosphere, being forced to endure and not just limit myself to being stationary. Nothing wrong with being on a stationary bike, but if I could have limited myself and denied myself of this experience had I not pushed myself and challenged myself to do this thing. And I was like, this can be a part of my routine. I can invite friends in. I can do it with my children. Like, come on, y'all, let's go ride bikes on the lakefront. Like, this is an easy thing to do that I have access to. But I have far too long. I mean, I felt like, and I felt like, and I saw myself, little girl Portia, riding her bike while I was on that bike path on the lakefront. I felt like a little girl again, like a little kid. I used to ride bikes all the time, and when I was a little kid, and my dad used to take me on a bike path in Bellwood when I was a little kid, and I'm like, I just felt like that little girl again, so free, so innocent, so I wasn't burdened down by life and all the things that be happening. I just felt I was so in the moment, and it was just a space of gratitude. And I was just like, man, we did 17, 18 miles. Who would have thunk it? When I had this thought to do this challenge, I never would have thought I would have did something like that. I was barely making it on a treadmill walking a mile. And I even accomplished that, like doing a mile walking at a lower pace. Okay, I want to be clear. I think I was doing like a three speed or whatever. Walking at that pace for 18 minutes, I can get to a mile. Like, I have built up to that from the repetition and showing up every day. That's it. All I did was show up every day, and I was just walking to the point I started getting tired of the treadmill because I was like, I wanted to keep increasing my speed, but it started to feel like I need to run, and I was like, maybe I could run again. I haven't ran since high school, y'all. All of these things that I have said I cannot do. I don't have the stamina. I don't have the endurance. I don't have the push. I can't do that because I'm out of shape. But I can. I just had to look outside the box. I had to step outside of this box that nobody else placed me inside of but me. I made it 50 days, 55, 60 days. 60 days, like 2 whole months. I've been working out straight. I got sick in the midst of my 75 days with a cold because, the kids went back to school. They got germs and stuff. I got sick, and I was still like, I'm going to sweat this cold out. I still showed up, still got up every day and worked out. And then towards the end of my 75 days, my job changed managers, and I got a new manager, and I got a new team lead, and they were becoming much more strict or present, shall I say, in how we were operating. And so towards the end, it was a conversation about, we changed time clocking systems as well. And so they're like, hey, like my erotic punches, like when I'm working out, because I get the girls off at like 7 something, whatever. I don't start working out until like 7:10, 7:15 or whatever, but that time will go into my 8 o'clock start time, right? And they like, we're seeing these erotic punches on your time card, which wasn't a problem before, and now it's an issue, right? And so I was like, well, my last manager was fine with this, but if you want me to change something up, especially with the new clocking system, that is based off of a schedule. And even though I have a schedule, I still would do what I needed to do, like just punch in and out, punch in and out. As long as I did my 80 hours, my boss did not care. Okay. But these people cared. And so I'm like, dang. And now my schedule was changed to 7:30 to 4. And so I'm like, well, I get the kids to the bus at 7 o'clock. So I can't do my 45-minute workout between 7 and 7:30. I have to be on the clock working at 7:30. And so I had to make a decision. And I'm just like, well, maybe I could use my lunch breaks, but now being a new mom with 2 kids out the house, like no kids here during the day, I was using my lunch breaks to like take a nap or do some other things that I may need to get done, like just taking some time for me, right? But now I'm going to have to use it for my working out, and I didn't want to have to use my lunch for my workout. Like, I don't want to have to do that. I was getting used to having that time to myself. But it really catapulted me instead of me getting discouraged and just like, man, just forget it. Like giving up, right? Which is what I typically would have done, but I made it too far. Okay. I'm at 60 days now. I'm like, I done made it too far to give up on this now. Like I'm almost there. I can taste it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna and even like working out in the evening now, because I'm used to getting it out the way in the morning. Like I just was getting up, get the kids ready, get them to the school bus, and then I'm going to work out. Like that's the first real thing I'm really doing for myself. And it just felt good to get it done and out the way, opposed to me waiting until later in the evening after I've been exhausted of work and helping the kids with homework and cooking and cleaning and doing all the things. Like nighttime, it's not it for me no more. Okay. And so I was like, I have to make a decision. And I was telling my mom, like, this ain't nothing but the devil trying to distract me. And like, girl, forget it. Like, you don't have to do it. You don't got to finish it. You made it this far. You did good. But no, I was like, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to either work out early in the morning or I'm going to work out on my lunch break. And I really didn't want to give up that lunch break. So that meant that instead of me getting up at the same time my kids get up at 6:30 a.m. to get them ready for school, I am now going to have to get up at 5:30 a.m. so I can be down to the gym by 5:45, work out for my 45 minutes, be back upstairs to wake my kids up at their 6:30 time, and then go on with the rest of them. So I can clock in, get them to the bus, so I can clock in at 7:30 and go on about my day. I was very reluctant at first, and I was like, but like I was all over the place towards the end of my 75-day challenge, because I was like, am I gonna get up? Or am I just gonna wait? Am I gonna get up? Or am I just gonna wait? And so I finally made the decision to get up. But it has been a struggle to like get up in the morning and just do it. And like I haven't gotten up at 5:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. I used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning when I was commuting an hour and a half to my job from my old home. And I just wasn't looking forward to it. But I was like, Portia, you have made it this far. You've done all of these things. You're almost at that 75-day mark. If you could do that, you can get up. And like, I was like, with the little time that I have, like once I get the girls off to school on a school bus, I've already done my workout. I've got them up and out. So now I have about 30 minutes to spend some time with God and read my word or my Bible plan or journal or whatever. And then I got time to get in the shower, take me a shower. I can wash my face, brush my teeth, like do my whole skincare routine, do my toner, my moisturizer, like, and just really take time to take care of me. So it's like my self-care time, and like just showing up for me. How I haven't been able to on a more consistent basis, right? It's kind of erratic. Like whenever I get a chance to do it, I do it. But now I'm being purposeful about my time and how and what that looks like. I'll be listening to my Audible. I didn't get back into my Audible books. Like this is what this time switch has allowed me to do. See, what the devil meant to hurt and harm me and to prevent me from being prosperous has turned up for my good. And even though it's coming at the sacrifice of me getting up earlier, which means I need to go to bed earlier, it is really purposeful to establish this routine, this regimen, so that when God blesses me with greater, okay, because it's coming. When God opens up the windows of heaven and pour out more blessings, I will be more ready to receive it because I'm already on this path of this is how my day going. And one day, it was so funny. I was doing all the things and I was like, God, I want control of my schedule to the point that I can get up, I can sleep in, or I could sleep in after I get the kids off and get up when I want to, make me some breakfast, have me some tea, take me a shower, moisturize my whole body, do all the things, like taking care of me. And I sit there for the first couple of hours of work and I'm sitting there in my little sexy robes and just feeling good about myself. And like, it really has been helping. Okay. Like, I just want to be able to get up and do what I want. And when I'm doing my business for my own business, like I can make my own schedules. Like, I don't know if anybody else look at Jackie Ina and Lavishly Jackie, her pages or whatever, and just seeing like her whole, like getting up and steaming her sheets and all. And I ain't saying I'm doing all that, but I'm just saying it's the option to like move at your own pace and not have to be required to be where somebody says you have to be so that you can survive and live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't wait. And I feel like all of this has been in connection to get me there. And so I'm taking the necessary steps to allow myself more freedom in the luxury, well, not luxury, but the necessity to take care of Portia. Okay. And so, yeah, this 75-day challenge has really challenged me on so many levels. And again, it was all about just showing up for Portia. And I have shown up. So it was nothing for me to set a new goal. I finished the 75 days. I'm about to do another 75 days. Well, I'm in the midst of doing another 75 days. So I'm at day 95 today. Okay. And that's even mind blowing. Like this week, I will make 100 days straight that I have worked out. Make that make sense. If I can make it 100 days, I can make it 365 because that's my next ultimate goal. But I'm doing it in 75-day increments. So I'm not trying to overwhelm myself with like, I gotta make it to 365. You know what I'm saying? Like this smaller number is making it more manageable and making it more obtainable. And like, I can really do that because I already did it. Like, what y'all talking about? I already did 75 days. I can do it again. You know what I'm saying? And this next 75 days, I am being more intentional about incorporating the eating aspect of it, right? Before it was just let me get to moving my body consistently and proving to myself that I can do it. I did that. I proved to myself that I can move, I can do the things, even when I'm sick, even when I don't feel like it, I still show up for myself and I did it. And so now, this next 75 days is still doing 45 minutes of workout, but instead of yoga, I have switched to Pilates. Okay. I feel like with each 75 days, I'm going to build back up. Probably by the next one, I will do strength training or whatever. And then I'm going to incorporate just doing a mix of all of them. Yoga one day, strength training one day, Pilates another day, like just doing all the things. Like I'm giving myself good building blocks. And it's like the preparation of being able to research and find different people for free on YouTube. Okay. It has helped me be more consistent as well, because I'm not going without a plan. Before, when I used to work out, I'm like, oh, I wrote down these little exercises, I'm gonna do these little exercises, like whatever. But no, like watching somebody else do it, and like they're encouraging you through it, and then having so many different options has really helped me tremendously. And so I feel much more like, me even embarking on the Pilates thing, I'm like, these same girls that's doing the yoga, a lot of them do Pilates. They have Pilates playlists on their YouTubes, and I can find that on there and find many videos of different ones. So it's just real, like I look forward to it now. Like I'm like, oh, I'm about to try this today. Even though I don't know what the full video entails until I'm actually doing it. And I'm like, girl, you crazy. You want me to do what? But I still do my best, and I still push myself to do it. I don't be like, I can't do it. I don't be like, I'm not even in that space any longer. And so I am super grateful that God placed that in my spirit many a times to push and challenge myself to do this, because it was necessary. And now with this next 75 days, I said that I was only going to eat restaurant food on the weekend, so that I won't be spending so much money and wasting so much money on restaurant food, and us like diverting to that opposed to like eating more clean, healthier foods. I switched our grocery to Whole Foods now as well. So that is another aspect, trying to buy more organic food and more like healthier things and options or whatever. Hyper focusing on getting these veggies and this fruit into my diet, more so veggies than anything, getting my protein in. I've been finding recipes and different things like that. I've set up meetings in the house to like get everybody's input about things they want to try, showing them different things that we can try, and like, let's get this, like, cause I gotta get this eating in order. Like I can work out every single day, but again, it's all connected, right? I think my mental is much better now about it, and how I think about working out and the exercise and then the health portion of my body. But now I got to get that same thing that clicked on that side for the exercise has to click on the side about the food. And I feel that is much deeper rooted than the exercise was for me. So this is a process, and I am adapting, right? And I am trying my best to give myself grace. But I do have experienced down moments like, man, like it's so expensive. And like, even with that, when I started and I knew that this was going to be expensive and it was going to be a lot harder than what we've been previously doing, I told my children, God will provide. God will provide. And groceries cost a lot of money. We are all living in this economy right now. And it's just like, man. And I'm like, I got my nerve to switch to a even more expensive option, but it's a healthier option, and it's going to help us all. And so I'm really trusting and believing that God is going to provide. He has already provided thus far. He's the one that gave me the thoughts and the ideas. So if he gave it to me, I know he going to see me through it, period. But it is a struggle, and it has been a struggle. And I've had moments like, man, like my mom was like, we eating all the food. Like we can't keep no food in the house, because we're actually eating it. It's not going to waste. It's not, we throwing something out because we didn't use it in time. Like, no, we're eating the food. We're being purposeful. Now I'm starting, to show and videotape record myself, cooking, which I got a new segment on TikTok called Cooking with P, period. To also another level of accountability, right? When I'm live, it's like, okay, y'all, I told y'all I'm doing this. So now me showing y'all this is holding myself accountable to what I said I'm gonna do and being purposeful about it, right? So I've made like chicken pot pie from scratch. I've made chicken tortilla soup from scratch. Made my own little tortilla chips. It was fire, period. Go check out that YouTube. I've just been trying different things, and like I'm super proud of myself, but I have to keep pushing. I gotta keep seeing outside of this box and not limiting myself and saying that I can't do it, or I can't, like, I don't have the endurance to, make it through this challenge, because I really want to see it all come together, right? So yeah, this food part is like really, it can be a struggle, but I am willing and able to push through it. Okay. Which leads me into my next segment, which is tools from the toolbox of life. And this is where I give you advice, resources, tools, or anything else that will benefit you as it has me. And so the tool that I offer you all today out of my toolbox of life is a decision. Okay. The decision, which starts from a thought. And the definition of decision is a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. All right. And so that's what I offer you. That is the tool for you to make a decision to show up for you, whatever that looks like, after you have considered all that you have been through, all of how life has been lifing you, all that you have experienced, all of the barriers, all of the boxes, all of the things that you said that you were incapable of. I challenge you to make a decision. Utilize this tool of making a decision to either show up or not show up for yourself. Okay. And so that means, and these are just some synonyms of decision. It's resolution, conclusion, settlement, commitment, resolve, determination, a choice, option, selection, verdict, judgment, pronouncement. Okay. I challenge you to make a decision. Utilize that tool. And the other tool that I want you to utilize, which was a great lesson within all of this, because it started with a decision that I made, right? But it also led me to determination. And determination is the process of establishing something exactly by calculation or research. Determine what it is you want to do and find a suitable way to help you achieve what you want to do. YouTube University has almost any and everything on there that you may need. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have this. I can't afford a trainer. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. Everything you need is on YouTube University. Okay? Everything. I promise you. Go look it up. Utilize the technology and the resources that we have to help you show up for you. So those are the two tools I have for you: a decision and determination. I have discovered that within my decision making, I am much more determined to show up for me than I ever have been ever in my life. And I believe that I am right where God intended for me to be in this time, in this season, at this moment. Because when I wasn't ready before, I am now ready to do it. Okay? Check out my life coaching video real quick, and I hope it finds you well. Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Portia O, your host of Life Podcast and your life coach. I'm here to help you along your healing journey with a few things you may be experiencing while seeking a life coach. Today's focus is a fear, the fear of choosing the wrong life coach. Finding a life coach who is the right fit is crucial, and the fear of making a poor choice can be paralyzing. But here's how you make it easier. Start by researching their credentials and looking for testimonials from past clients. Many coaches offer a free consultation. Use this time to gauge their approach and see if it aligns with your goals. Trust your instincts. The right coach will listen, understand, and motivate you. Remember, it's about finding a partner in your journey to growth. Don't let fear hold you back from making a positive change, because life be life in us all. Life be life in us all. Yes, life be life in us all. All right, so I'm going to close out this episode. Thank you guys so much for being here with me with my favorite segment, Speak Life. Okay, so this is the segment where I leave you with a call to action for yourself, but not just for you, but for me as well. I will leave you with these words to hold on to until next time. Today's Speak Life affirmation is, I am making healthy decisions that will change my life forever. Again, today's Speak Life affirmation is, I am making healthy decisions that will change my life forever. You heard it, you say it, you write it down, and remind yourself to speak that thing and make it happen, because life be lifing us up all. I love you all. I thank you so much for joining in. And remember to make a decision. Be determined. And again, the question, how or when are you going to show up for you? Let me know in the comments. Go like, subscribe, all the things. I love y'all so much.